What's up, sir?
I
How
think
are you?
I think we're live. Hi, we are
We
live.
are.
Um,
We are.
welcome. Well, sometimes things don't like to show on my end because sometimes technology likes to not cooperate. But welcome to episode 106. Other side of the ball. Double A and Chris here with you.
Hey, your sound went out. Your sound went out. Can't hear you, Bubba. And now he's frozen. Well, hey, everybody. How are you? So we're supposed to have one more person joining us. We'll see if they do. Hopefully, Dub can get his situation with his computer. Hopefully, he doesn't try to punt it down the road. Um, Dub, are you back? You're freezing there, buddy. I'm not sure what's going on with you. That's a good look, Frozen. He's doing the mannequin challenge right now. So, but nonetheless, welcome to episode 106 of The Other Side of the Ball. We are supposed to be joined by one more, and hopefully he will join us shortly as Dub signs off. I know he's going to try to get back on here. Yeah, technology sucks, brother. I can tell you that right now. It is great when it's working, sucks when it doesn't. So we have, as you guys know, Winter War is coming. I like saying that is for all you Game of Thrones fans. But getting back to football, it's going to be very interesting this season. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of it. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all breaks down and shakes out for our new season in 2025 of A7FL. During the regular season, I think that we've got some strong teams and some people that will be entering for the first time and enjoying the A7 with us. And I think that Vegas's talent with the second win or back-to-back wins of the Insomniacs have other people standing up and taking notice. So I want to see what that brings for us. And of course, we'll be back at Matter Academy come January. So hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler than what we're seeing now in October. It's ridiculous. It's 102 today. So I'm hoping that that'll kind of calm down. Dub, if you're listening, hopefully you will be back on here joining us here shortly. I know that we were supposed to have Corey Hammond on as well. And Corey, if you're listening, hopefully you'll join us here shortly as well. We had some things that we talked about doing today on today's show. Don't know if that is still what we're going to do, knowing that Dub is still trying to sign back in, but we'll give him a little bit of time and hopefully he'll come back and join us. The major thing that I want to talk about when it comes to A7, we have had our differences, East Coast, West Coast. We've had that, and yes, I'm kind of filling right now. I won't lie, because of the stuff that we had planned, and Dub was a big piece of that, so it's kind of hard to do it without him. But nonetheless, I think the biggest thing that we could talk about right now is just the fact of, this East Coast, West Coast thing is got to go. This is all about the A7. It's all about what we can bring to the table. It's all about, things being put together where we can have a little bit more for what we need. And joining me now, Mr. Hammond. How are you, sir?
I'm good. What'd you do to Dub? You got rid of Dub? Got him out of here? He's still sad about the 49ers for whatever reason?
Oh, man, that was brutal. He was over watching that game with me on Sunday. That was brutal. We're both, and the thing about it is we did our picks earlier on Saturday, and I told him, if you were watching, and it's recorded so you could see it, but I told him, I said, something in me wants to pick Arizona, and I should go with Arizona. Something's telling me Arizona's going to win the game. And he kind of looked at me like, you damn well better not. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and pick your boys. And I even picked against my Cowboys in that because I felt, okay, they're going to lose. 49ers are going to win. And, man, was I wrong.
Well, it just goes to show you that the whole every week 49ers fans either saying that they're the greatest team ever or firing their coach and getting rid of their quarterback is not how football works. There's probably a gray area somewhere.
Yeah, but you know what? That's any weekend with the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And what we do as football watchers and fans of all genres of football is assume that it's Madden, where X plus Y equals whatever, XY.
Yeah.
And it's not. There's a lot more variables that go into it. And Brock Purdy is now not a terrible quarterback because he had one game that didn't end in a win. Shanahan is not a terrible coach because he's lost Super Bowl after Super Bowl with leads, and he lost against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
there's a gray area, and there's a lot more that goes into it. And
it's tough winning every weekend in and out in the NFL. I mean, this is
especially in the NFL.
This isn't something you could just say, "Oh, well, the better team's going to win this weekend." You never know. Any given Sunday, that could change in a heartbeat on a play, a dumb play, a tipped ball, if you will. That look what happened with Cincinnati. Cincinnati had that game sewn up, and then we had Burrow throw the pick, which completely changed everything with that game. So that's why I'm saying there's certain things that go on in the NFL that you and I could probably talk about ad nauseum during this hour and a half about how things can go a different direction in a heartbeat. You just never know.
So shout outs to Dub Anthony Alvarez for always being a diehard 49ers fan and wearing his heart on his sleeve and missing the show because tears have not stopped flowing since approximately West Coast time. Let's say 6 p.m. West Coast time.
You're so wrong.
He's probably listen, he might look great. Charlie Batch might look like, game fit Charlie Batch after the water weight he lost, like he is Hugh Jackman training for the movie The Wolverine, cutting all water out of his life, crying nonstop. So that brings us to the A7FL. And speaking of crying, Chris, what I wanted to do is kind of update our other side of the ball audience a little bit on some of the news. And then if we get somebody to join us, I don't know if maybe we should save this for later, but I wanted to see if we could start a little game here kind of thing going on.
Okay.
Now, we could do the draft. I love doing drafts, and then fans at home, you guys could draft as well along with us. And there, with only 2 people, there'll probably be some names left. And then you can, in the comments, talk about our teams. We'll get to that later.
Well, when you say draft, do you want to do like 2 8-man teams or 2 7-man teams? Excuse me, or do you want to do?
Yeah, what I did is I had a premise, and we'll get into that. But I did want to break some news to the Vegas guys, even though they may or may not have already heard, because last week I think this is a decent follow up for last week, because last week we talked about the top 10. And one of the teams that I think we had the widest opinion on in the top 10, an interesting team, whether around the league they're respected or not, was the real Sin City Chaos. Now, Chris, don't worry. I'm only going to be able to say that maybe a few more times to talk about our 3-on-1 podcast, throwback to the court case, which was a debacle in all ways, which was fun, but we're moving on. The nice thing though, Chris, is that we might not have to say Sin City that much anymore with the C, because unfortunately for whatever circumstance, and we can maybe kind of touch on that, maybe we just kind of let lie and just talk about the future. But I believe they were the 6th team in front of the Nightcrawlers, which in the comments, let me know what you feel about that. The Chaos no longer exist.
Which is a very interesting situation there, because I was kind of surprised. There he is. I was kind of surprised when.
Okay, first off, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good Lord.
Yes, your voice. You have not lost your voice from screaming into your pillow. Pause about the San Francisco 49ers loss.
Is that no Diddy?
Yeah, I guess.
Or no Diddler.
Listen, if they're gonna start to do Diddy, they're gonna have to do the what's the guy's name from those Nickelodeon kids shows, because he was worse than Diddy, because Diddy was at least doing it to adults. But anyway,
Dude, there's so many different things I could say about that.
Back on to A7FL. What's that scumbag's name from the Nickelodeon shows?
Oh, you know what? I've never
Dan
watched
Singer?
it. I'm not sure.
Dan Snyder? No, that's the guy from the Redskins. Or excuse me.
Yeah, they own the Redskins. Well, the Commanders now.
Anyway, let's not talk about the Nickelodeon. Let's not talk about guys that are going to jail for doing bad things. Let's talk about the A7FL. Dub, technology sucks, but how are you doing today, friend?
I'm fine, and hopefully I'll be better in about 2 hours if the team that plays in Southern California that wears blue gets eliminated. Sorry, Steve. It's over tonight, buddy.
Wow. So we've got, just so you know, we got guys that are baseball fans, big baseball fans, that go through this, and so Ashmore is definitely a Dodger fan, and I know quite a few of them that definitely will be crying in their beer tonight if the Dodgers lose. Just saying.
Well, like I said, right now,
definitely not one of them.
Well, right now, Matt Ryan is crying because his beloved Metropolitans just ended the Philly season. So,
he's crying tears of joy, though, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
yes, he is. Yes,
he's praising the grimace, and I think there's a meme that goes into that. But shout outs to the Mets for actually not being the worst organization ever.
Yeah, true.
No, Ashmore, I will not bite my tongue. It's over tonight, pal.
Hold on. Listen, if people want to go and get news about those other leagues, let's talk to somebody that actually pays attention.
Well, they got to go online and see what's going on. We're done with it.
It takes 6 hours for anything to happen nowadays. So good luck watching that and staying awake. Even with West Coast time, by the way. Yeah, shots fired.
Hilarious.
But let's go back to what Steve Ashmore was saying that really matters, which was, wow. Hey, Corey, shut up. Did you guys hear that? There's definitely feedback from somebody. But it was fun to tell myself to shut up. I see why everybody else does it. It's cathartic. But yes, so Ashmore Media, yes. All right, no, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that the chaos no longer exists, Dub. And when we talk about the divisions across the league, there is a lot of a hierarchy that's kind of been set and established. And what's fun is seeing teams like Sick With It try to get that win over Insomniacs, or teams like the Watchmen or the U overcome BIC as Dub still struggles with the internet, or the Mets or whatever.
No, it's the internet.
Yeah, I know. But the chaos specifically go from stranglehold in the division to no longer existing. And if you guys are in those groups and watch those player movements, it's basically a salvage yard out there in the real Sin City, because everybody, I'm sorry, Chris, I'm going to keep doing it for a couple more weeks. Everybody's going after all of these chaos players. And between the Heist and the Crush, the two more established teams in Ohio, I know Vegas. Nobody cares. You guys don't care that much about the division, but it is news.
Well, I think when you say that they're going after the chaos players, are you saying that what we're seeing is we're going to see like a break between the Heist and other teams taking those players on? Is that what you're thinking?
So, and I'm going to get more information so we kind of check back on this breaking news situation.
Mm-hmm.
Keno is good, and I believe Keno is one of the guys that's getting picked up and is going to be with the QC Crush guys.
Correct. But you got to keep in mind when in Dub, I don't know exactly when this was, but I think we had Brent on to announce the fact that the chaos was going to be gone. And he let us know that he was taking a good portion of his players with him. So we thought, and I'm not going to go against that because I don't know. But what I can tell you is, without a shadow of doubt, when he was on our show, he definitely let in and let us know that chaos is done, that they aren't coming back. He just doesn't have the time to do the stuff that he needed to with them anymore, and that he was going to go be part of the another squad. And he said that he would be trying to take as many players with him. Now, there is some speculation that we would see some of the Chaos players over with the Heist because of some other background there that, some of the Heist players have really good relationships with some of the Chaos players that would be coming over to strengthen the Heist. In this, when I'm looking at it, from a 30,000 foot view, my immediate thought was, okay, let's say that Chaos is gone, and you kind of divide. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I have no idea. But let's say you divide the talent evenly between these two other teams. I think you could wind up having a similar situation, from other divisions where you have these two teams battling it out for number one.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of a back and forth between the Heist and the Chaos to start. The Heist, just make sure that they have the Natty field ready for 3P. Yes, we'll get to that. Of course, we have to have a Vegas slant to it. Of course. Did you guys see my little Chiron over here? Anyway,
pick the Insomniacs in 2023.
That's right. Just a reminder to anybody that was thinking that I was biased. No. Anyway, we know what happened in 2024. Insomniacs won their champs. With my thing is that the interesting bit of news as things have started to develop is, from what I've heard and kind of generally gotten confirmed from Brent as well, is that Keno goes to the Crush. Quarterback Tyler Pennington, the quarterback for the Crush last year, who is more of that, pro style, stand in the
drop
pocket,
back,
little bit of not
he's not totally mobile, but he's more of
he's a bigger guy, tough to bring down, and he's got more of that, kind of passing quarterback pedigree.
Yeah.
But I think the hidden move that people aren't talking about is a guy that the Chaos really kind of started to feel comfortable with at the quarterback. Seth Kozak is also making the move. So shout outs to Dale Hathaway and getting a lot of guys there. But for me, what makes this interesting is that the Heist were not, in my opinion, that far from being a competitive team with the Chaos. So since the entire Chaos isn't just taking over the Crush, there are some of those Chaos guys that are going over the Heist. And what I think that, and maybe we'll go around one more time on this little bit of news, but maybe that Ohio Division Championship won't be a signed, sealed, and delivered like automatic like it has been the last 2 years, but there actually might be a competitive championship game in the Ohio Division, and I'm really looking forward to next season to see who will step up, who plays quarterback. I'm not reading you right now, Ashmore. I'll check when I watch back. I want to finish my point. Who's going to take the Chaos's place? And does that leveling out of talent equal a net positive for the Ohio Division? Or because the Chaos kind of felt like a super team, does the Ohio winner take a step back and even make less of a national impact? It'll be interesting to see how that division goes.
Well, I think that you've hit something right on the head with that, because I think you're right. I think that as a Chaos, if you break that team up, and like I said, we don't know. I mean, you might have heard differently. We don't know for sure if the talent is going to be equally placed on both these squads. So
I don't think equally, right? From what I've heard, and I think it's just kind of a small confirmation. I don't think it's equally, but I think it's split up enough that it's not the full Chaos team, which would then obviously we would just go chalk with the Crush. But the Crush, remember, are starting from a starting point that's way behind, not way, but pretty far behind.
I would say
where the Heist
basically say the Heist and Chaos were 1-2, and the Crush was probably, I would say,
3, 4,
a distant
or 5.
third.
Yeah, exactly.
A distant third in that division. And
you can make the argument. You can make the argument that Octane were better. You could also make the argument that the Explorers had a better future, because the Crush, they could win. I think they were a little bit lower than 500, but that's what I think. Like you said, Chris, they're starting from a place behind where the Heist were. So if the Heist maybe just add a couple of those playmakers, they might be able to be the better team than where the Crush are with most of the guys from the Chaos, but not all.
And that's the thing. If you're taking like some of their major playmakers from the Crush and from Chaos and putting them on the Heist, and then taking the rest of those people and playmakers and putting them on the Crush. My thought from that standpoint is you're kind of leveling that playing field by doing such. And I think that you could make the argument, because the Heist were so close to the Crush, that were they just a few pieces away from being a team that could compete with the Chaos. So I think that we might be in a situation where you might actually see the Heist be that number one team.
Now, to answer Ashmore's question, there possibly might be adding a fourth team, but this is straight from the A7 Cincinnati Facebook page, and this was posted like 6 days ago, but it says that they're trying to get teams in Cincinnati, another team in Cincinnati, one in Louisville, one in Dayton, Ohio, and also one in Lexington, Kentucky.
Isn't there a little Miami team?
Quite possibly. There's also talking about a possible Wyoming rec team having tryouts in Cincinnati, and that was put up 4 days ago. The Little Miami Phantoms is the team that you are referencing, Mr.
Yeah, the Ohio teams can't help themselves but steal the names of bigger cities for the rest of their team.
So right now,
what's the real Miami soon?
So
what's the real you?
So right now, as it stands in the Ohio / division, it's the QC Crush, the Heist, and the Little Miami Phantoms, possibly looking to add a fourth team in the Ohio area.
We'll just call that the JD Vance division for now, and they can deny what happened in 2020.
Oh, baby.
And 2023 and 2024. By the way, they can just deny everything. I think that's a good place to wrap up on the Ohio talk, because let's be honest, I want our Ohio listeners to come in. They're always treated very well by all of the Vegas guys and fans. The Ohio guys never talk shit either, by the way, about the Vegas guys. And they are never reminded by our Vegas guys what happened when the Chaos did play head-to-head.
Damn, if I would have known that we were doing this, I would have worn my shirt. That's all.
Your JD Vance shirt? I would have booed you.
You would have what?
I said your JD Vance shirt, I would have booed you. But anyway, I know you don't have a JD Vance.
That's all right, man. If you would have worn your Kamala Harris shirt, I would have booed you. So we're good.
Oh, listen, if you're wearing a Trump shirt, at least you're wearing a Trump shirt. If you're wearing a JD Vance shirt, there's something wrong with you, bro. Unless you're a San Francisco guy like Dub over here.
I'm just wearing a Coca-Cola shirt.
I don't really.
I thought you were going to say you're wearing a Koch Brothers, Koch Brothers shirt.
No.
Deep state, if we want to go into the weeds. But anyway.
No. Wow. Where are we going with this?
I don't know. It's election season. I'm making real quick election jokes. Maybe CNN needs a new anchor, and then I can lie about the news like everybody else. So
yeah, there you go.
No journalistic integrity in the news, but in other words, back to football, as Corey Hammond likes to say.
Speaking of the Insomniacs, because I could have segued it, because we talked about I said the Vegas guys never remind the Ohio guys about what happened when the Insomniacs played Chaos.
We wear shirts that say the real city or anything like that.
Speaking of the Insomniacs guys, I thought of a new fun little mini game that we could play if everybody remembers Madden 2005 through 8, or at least that's what I remember the mini games. We can all agree that the Insomniacs offense is almost unstoppable, can't we?
When they're at times when they're really locked in, yes. When they're locked in and focused, absolutely.
Well, let's be clear. They're the champs, and
correct.
At least in the past 2 seasons, they've either been 1A or B, if you want to really splice, statistically, win-wise, whatever. Insomniac's got a tough offense. And since this is the Vegas show, and Vegas now kind of, at least temporarily has the mortgage payment for the league.
The mortgage payment
for the league.
Wow.
Listen,
that's insane.
Ownership's different than renting, right? When you pay rent, right? But ownership now is different.
Oh, now you're in trouble.
Speaking of ownership has entered the building.
And he's still probably voting for JFK since we're making election jokes. But anyway.
Wow.
Well, listen, it's important. I want everybody to vote. Nevada actually matters. New Jersey, we know that way it's going to go. Nevada, do your job. So, since the Insomniacs, Derek, coming in at a perfect time, now have the mortgage for the league, right? They temporarily are paying the mortgage. They're the owners. I think what a fun game would be so that we could get – he left. A fun game would be we all get involved. If Derek's in, great. If he misses a pick because he's off, that's on him. Let's draft the ideal defense that in one game you need to stop the Insomniacs. And I think I said really, I think the target has to be 29 points. So we're
holding them to 29 points.
Well, wait, nobody's really done it, have they? So you need to have some kind of target. We're going to draft our ideal defense of the guys that are available and left.
I think the lowest that they've scored to win a game was 32, and that was in the Fall Brawl Championship.
No, it was.
Well,
I
but Corey's saying you
Okay.
want to draft a defense that'll
You're
hold
correct.
their
You're
offense
correct.
to 29 or less.
So we got to draft a fantasy defense to stop the existing Insomniacs. So what you have to do is think of who they got, what you need to get, and we're going to go snake draft. And we're going to start with Chris Vera. Yes, we're going to start with Chris Vera. We're going to go Chris Vera.
Okay.
Because you were here first. We're going to go Dub. We're going to go Derek. And then we're going to go me. And then we'll snake draft it back. And what we're going to do is we're going to draft a starting 7 and a utility guy. So whatever that means. You can define it. I'm not going to define it for you. You define it for yourself. When you draft him, just let us know who he is.
Okay.
And we'll have our fans in the comments pick along with us their team, A. B, pick which of our 4 teams has the best shot. C, does any of our teams have a shot to hold them to the 29?
My quick question is, we can pick anybody from any squad as long as it's not the Insomniacs offense.
No, you can't draft Insomniacs defensive players because let's
That's
face it, a lot of them play both ways. And if we're playing the Insomniacs, you can't go and snatch somebody from the sideline and clone them.
Sure,
Nobody's taking RTC or Munch or Danye Lyons. You got to cover them.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Danye would cover Munch.
It would be unfair to have Danye Lyons cover Danye Lyons. That's non-existent.
No. I'm talking about Danye covering either Davik or Munch.
Fine,
that's what I'm talking about.
You're not allowed to draft Insomniacs. You can draft anybody from any other team other than them. You got to stop.
Killing me, Corey. You're killing me,
bro. You got to stop the Insomniacs. You're gonna be like, all right, I picked the Insomniacs. It's like Coach James is just gonna put them on offense for a play. You're beat.
Well, sometimes you have to be able to if you're gonna have
sometimes you have to just fucking pick a different corner than Danye Lyons. That's sometimes.
Damn you.
All right, so here's my challenge with the setup. I've probably got 20, 30 minutes before I got to drop off. You think we'll be done getting through 4 7s in that
if
time?
If you got 3 guys and they're that impactful, maybe you win. But if you take them off the board, maybe that's just you're gonna play the same role as your pick for president, which is you're just gonna screw up somebody else's chances.
I think, America's. I think the right move here is for me to comment and have fun and to not actually draft a team,
fine.
So that I don't get stuck being short here.
So you are now officially Trey Wingo. Chris Vera. All right, and then if you guys think of a team name, make your team name. If not, whatever. Chris Vera.
Yes.
You are on the clock.
You guys are making this difficult because I don't always remember everybody's names, but there is the cornerback off of let's see, BIC that had the pick.
Amir Chick Morris.
Chick Morris.
That would be my first pick because I need somebody that is going to be able to stay in coverage for a minute, especially if Scooter's given time to throw the ball.
That's my guy. So listen, by the way, that would have been one of my top picks. But Chris Vera with the first pick in the Stop Next draft, Amir Chick Morris, cornerback, BIC. Derek, thoughts?
I think he is a solid guy. I think that there's other cover corners that you could have gone to, and there's a very limited amount of certain other types of talents who are effective on the defense. So I would have gone with a different position to start. That's me personally. But as far as corners go, I don't know that you could have picked a better one. Well, no, I can think of 3 better ones, but a great
They're probably
one.
from Vegas. Not biased at all. Anyway, keep going.
No. The first one is absolutely not from Vegas. So, and
Nice.
one of them actually doesn't even play any. He didn't play this last season. I think he retired. He's my favorite corner that I've ever seen play A7FL. So I'm not sure if we're doing historical players too, or what the situation is, but
it's gotta be active.
Great, solid pick. I would have gone with a different position first.
Really? Okay.
Dub, you are now on the clock.
I need someone to watch the middle. I'm taking the Wolverine, Ricardo Freeman.
Oh! Yo, listen. First of all, my Vegas guys taking guys out of the Vegas division for the first 2 picks. You guys are showing your immense A7FL knowledge. Ricardo Freeman, Derek Duncan, is the number 1 pick.
I don't know a lot of Ricardo Freeman's game. I'm to be honest.
All right, so real quick.
Yeah.
Wolverine, when you see him standing there in the middle of the field at, I'm going to say roughly 5'9", 168. All right. Best pure tackler in the league. Best pound for pound tough guy for his size. If you watch The Wire, the season 4, where it's the 4th graders, yeah, Ricardo Freeman, that's his real life, by the way. Ricardo Freeman is one of the best linebackers, pure tacklers in the league. Now, is he a little bit of a liability maybe in coverage at times, but he still has more picks than almost anybody that you can name right now in the A7FL because he's playing for 15 years. He is a dog. If there ever was a dog in our league, Dub, I am amazed that these 2 guys went first and they picked 2 of the guys that I wanted on my team.
No, just from what I've seen of him, he can go silent to silent, and I just love his motor. And plus,
who
does he play for?
Watchmen.
The Watchmen, the Baltimore Watchmen.
Thank you.
All right, so
You said The Wire and it was his life. I could have guessed, but I wanted to be sure.
yeah. So great. Wow, this is starting off awesome. Great picks. But with my first pick, I'm going to be in a similar spot as Dub. Now, I get snake draft, so I get boom, boom. Linebacker, Deontay Henderson, Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers. Because, let me be clear, I love the first 2 guys, and I probably might have picked one of those 2 guys before this guy. You're my guy, chick. You guys will see. But nobody plays the linebacker position as impactful as Deontay Henderson, according to a guy I respect, Ant Live, that he's ever seen. Now, Ant Live is the defensive coordinator for the Snow Tribe, also won 2 championships. No, just the 1 championship with BIC. He wasn't there for the second one. That was most recent. We're talking about a guy who's seen almost everyone in this league that's played. And when he watched the Nightcrawlers, the guy and let's be clear, when Snow Tribe played the Nightcrawlers this year, they had Logo and Bagway there. And didn't talk about those 2 guys. He talked just about Deontay Henderson and how much of a nightmare he is as a linebacker in the middle of the field because he can do everything that you could possibly think of and potentially be the only one in the league that pound for pound, man on man, is able to stop RTC in a long game, 25 carries to under maybe 100 yards, and that's my first pick. Now, snake draft. Whoa.
Who's your next pick?
And I got to go with somebody from the New Jersey division. But who do I take at the defensive end? One of the most impactful guys that has ever played in this league.
Is he 6'5"?
No, he's not. Well, listen, Love him, but I like him better at tight end, Derek.
He's amazing at tight end.
My GOAT of the defensive end position, because of how insane it is to try to pass block him, but also for his undersized frame, how often he is making the tackle on on the run play, is Olajuwon Ole Bell from BIC. Now, if you missed a lot of his career, he was the identity of the defense for the New Jersey Savage for a decade plus. He's kind of bounced back and forth trying to find that. He's almost like Karl Malone looking for the ring, and they thought they had it last year, him and Q Bell, the wide receiver on the other side of the ball, with BIC. Now, we know the team
who I got hella confused by with their jerseys, by the way. They were mad at me because I kept calling them each other.
If you got their last name right, at least you got their last name right. But Ole Bell at about 5'9", 205, he's one of those guys that kind of revolutionized the defensive end position in the 7-on-7 format, because unlike a lot of more stereotypical tackle D ends, he's more of that outside linebacker edge rusher, but as a wrestler and a state championship caliber wrestler, his center of gravity and his first step and that ability to have balance and leverage and strength, he is almost impossible to block on a pass play. Let me tell you, I've been probably sacked more times by Ole Bell than anybody in the Northeast. And for me, that's my second pick. So I have my linebacker and I have my athletic pass rusher. But if Kenny Mack is blocking, I'm gonna have to have some beef.
All right, so Corey, you just nailed it on the head. If I'm building a defense specifically in this league, I need to build it from the inside out. If you have a guy like Scooter who can get rid of the ball in 1.7 seconds, you need somebody to get there in 1.6 to affect that pass. And if you got great defense,
Scooter has 6 seconds to throw most plays. I have
right, but if you've got guys like Davik and Munch who know how to run a good route where you can just flick the ball, you don't need the full time, but you have to make him just go to those guys by getting pressure in his face. So I'm going to build my D from the inside out, and then fill with the corner and free safety position if we have one of those. So I like how you started, Dub. Kind of with the same situation, but rushing the passer is more important in the A7FL today.
Well, that leads to Dub's second pick.
Big Mo.
Big Mo Ramadan. Now another multi-champ Northeast guy, and for whatever reason, the Vegas guys are not picking the Vegas guys. I don't know. It's fine.
We still got 5 more picks.
I mean, the Insomniacs are the Insomniacs, so we're missing some of those guys. I'm sure they would have got picked.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Big Mo,
we only have 4 more picks. No,
Big
2.
Mo is and let's
you have 6, Chris.
Let's be clear. Big Mo in his prime, probably one of the best defensive tackles out there. I will say this: Big Mo is one of my personal heroes. Shout outs to Sema and his daughter, who are fighting the good fight, and rest in peace to his one daughter that unfortunately left the world too soon. But Mo has done more in this league than almost anybody ever could. And for as many championship games that he's appeared in, he's almost like the LeBron James. He's been to like 9 of them boys, and I'm exaggerating. He's won 3, I believe. So shout outs to my guy Big Mo, and that will be Dub's second pick, leading to Chris with a boom situation on the snake draft. Chris, you could really fill out your team.
So while we're here, let me just say that my top 3 are still on the board.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. 2 of my top 3 are still on the board. You already grabbed one, Corey.
Deontay Henderson.
Because of their playmaking ability and wanting to go deep, I'm going to go with, funny enough, Logo Davis at safety.
There you go. Number 1 best player in the league, hands down, both sides of the ball.
Listen, you can't. Listen, no analysis needed. You say Logo Davis out loud. No argument in my book.
I mean, I can't. I started to think about it. I'm like, okay, the back end of this defense needs somebody that can go sideline to sideline, just like a linebacker. Need somebody that is going to be able to step up and come up to hit RTC. We also need somebody that can take a step back and also pick passes and read routes. And there's
one-handed interceptions.
Damn near one-handed interception going out of bounds.
backflipping.
Someone who can climb the ladder to compete with a guy like David Clark to get up at his high point, can damn near run the route for him because he understands body work and where a guy's going. Logo, again, if I'm starting a team today and I get the number 1 draft pick, Kenny Mack's my number 1. Logo Davis is my number 2. That's what this league looks like to me.
Listen, I can't necessarily disagree. And a hot take. Now, this isn't my take. Some might argue that the most valuable player in that Insomniacs championship was the front row that took out Logo Davis in the stands.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
Nah, he was
But
fine.
you know what?
Real.
You can also make the argument that when he was catching that interception going out of bounds that knocked himself out, that that was, had his feet been in bounds, that would have been the game changer right there.
Yeah. Well, and had he not dropped the ball because he was out.
Yep. Well, and he was already out of bounds. He wouldn't have gotten his feet in, but knocking himself out.
I don't know if that happened or not. I just know he didn't survive the ground, which was I was thinking. So that it couldn't be a catch.
Gotcha.
So quick recap for fans at home, scoring at home. Chris, who do you got on your squadron?
Oh, so
Amir
far?
Morris? Yeah.
Logo Davis.
Yep.
It's going to be tough to pass. Dub, I know you're watching Dodgers or Giants or whoever you actually like more. It's probably not the San Francisco team because you never root for San Francisco teams. But you have Ricardo Freeman and Big
Correct.
Mo.
Correct.
That's the solid middle of the line right there. And I'm kind of going like almost like that triangle on the defense. I got Ole Bell and Deontay Henderson. Chris, kick off round 3 for us.
So
I'm
Chris, you're
actually
up.
going to do something that's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to put Bagway at cornerback.
Okay.
Because of his height, because of his ability to his change of direction. I need somebody that is going to not play quarterback, only play corner, and be able to cover Davik.
Now, I will say that I've seen more plays that a guy's literally not trying at all from that guy. Now, the circumstances is a little bit unique because honestly, he knew he could make it back up on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep.
I've seen more plays just I don't care about this and just completely let go by that player. And let's be clear, one of the best players in our league again. Now,
But what I'm saying is, if you take him off the playing quarterback altogether,
he's not playing quarterback.
He's only playing corner. He's not doing a damn thing else and taking it seriously. He could actually be pretty damn good.
What fucking quarterback does Chris have on his team? If Logo Davis and Mark Bagway are not playing quarterback, that guy is awesome.
But the thing about it is when we start to break that down in the secondary and who you have in the secondary covering, I think that is something that I've got to look at, especially when I'm trying to put together a team to stop the Insomniacs.
Chris has Baker Mayfield.
May he rest in shit.
I'm not even giving a shit about you. You said to stop the Insomniacs.
Listen,
we said nothing about offense.
Yeah, it's a fantasy draft. Your parameters work, and honestly, for all of those plays that I'm talking about with Mark Bagway, if he only had to play one side of the ball, he's a dog. He's a winner. I'm sure. Bagway great pick, but Davik did get 3 touchdowns. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He lets plays go because he's like, I'll get back on offense. And
exactly.
By the way, he does.
Right.
Let's be clear.
Exactly.
But if he didn't have to play, Chris, I like where you're going because if he didn't have to play offense, amazing athlete, tall, could actually cover David Clark. And if you're going for the matchup, that's great. Honestly, when you're looking at Logo Davis, if you had to put him at corner, I don't know who your corner is going to be. But if you had to put him at one guy in the league that might be enough to cover Munchie, maybe, I don't know. So, all I got to say about Chris's team is that quarterback's fucking nice.
Well,
guy is good at football.
Chris's setup, he can actually put Logo at a slot corner
or
run
safety. Yeah.
So
that
would be a difference maker, but still interesting. I like it.
All right. Chris watched the 2023 championship for sure. Dub, who you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go with my first homer pick, but I'm taking the big goose, Josiah Sal. I'm still building up in the trenches. Got to build that wall.
So you're going defensive tackle, offensive lineman, sometimes running back from Siquidit?
Yes, and sometimes tight end.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, It's a good pick. Good pick.
That's a
However,
great pick. I do like that. For me, I would have gone with another guy on that line from the defensive side for what he has brought to that team and the length. But it's still a solid pick. If you are rushing Sal over the top of somebody all game long, they're going to get worn down. He's going to start beating them up eventually. So that's a good pick.
yeah, it's a great pick. Now, for defensive line, I was looking at Sickwit too. And now I don't know. Like, if you gave me the choice of one or the other, and let's be clear, this is a little bit of Vegas bias because these are my Vegas guys. I think that if Dub, you went with the opposite guy, and you're talking about, I think his name is Lugo, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you're talking about, Derek, because that's who I'm talking about, and that's who I'm picking.
That's my rookie of the year.
With my third pick, Lugo from Sickwit.
Michael Lugo.
Now, I think that I don't think it's a hot take to say that Lugo might have been a more valuable player for what he did for the offense for Sickwit, but his presence on the defense and being a guy that actually exists on a team that once upon a time beat Insomniacs, where there's not a lot of guys that exist out there. I needed to get a guy on this defense to stop the Insomniacs that actually can tell my guys how to, because he's done it once. Now, did he hold them to the score we're talking about? Absolutely not. But for my pick to kind of anchor my defensive middle, Michael Lugo, Sickwit, is my D tackle. But it's a snake draft, gentlemen. So that means I get to go again. And because Chris took Amir Chick Morris away from me, who is not only a guy that I played with forever and a personal friend of mine, and my pick for best instinct corner in the league, I'm going to go to a guy that he shares time with. And now, who's that calling? Is that Pick City calling? Because I don't know. Somebody's phone is ringing, and I tried to turn it into a bit, and it was the corniest joke of all time. But little known fact, the two corners, in my opinion, that are left on BIC are among the two tops. Now, I'm not going to give you the other guy, even though I really love his game, because if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I don't want you guys to take him. But H3 Frazier, number 44 for BIC, a rookie this year, a guy that I think deserves a lot more credit. And to me, for guys that I played against last year, one of the most, glue guy corners that I've faced in this league in recent history. And although the other guy that I want to save to pick for corner if he's left, I don't know if I faced him. I might have. Maybe that's a clue. For me, the corner for this team, if I want to have a guy that has a chance of covering Davik or Munchie, whoever lines up, it's got to be H3 Frazier, who to me is one of the best pure cover corners in the league, bar none, period. And it's only been his first league. So hell yeah. So that's my snake draft. I go with Lugo, H3 Frazier. We got 4 guys in. This defense is starting to look pretty right to me. Thank God I don't have to face them.
And just so we're all aware, my number 3 guy on my list still has not gone off the table yet.
Oh.
He's sliding down the board like Aaron Rodgers on draft day.
Well, if you're a Jet fan, you wish that you had Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and even Joe Flacco at this point, based on this season. But anyway, go ahead, Dub. Or are you still crying about the Niners and the Giants, apparently? Mookie Betts with a home run. Shout out to Boston.
No, I'm not
all
crying.
over the place with that one.
Yeah, he is. He is. But
I'm stalling so that he can look on his list to see who he's drafting. Okay. I'm a good co-host. I'm giving you the extra time by filling the air with carbon dioxide for me.
I'm gonna go secondary. I'm gonna go secondary, and I'm gonna take the Dakari Mims from the U.
Dakari Mims. Okay.
I like it.
Now, awesome athlete, better wide receiver. I've gone up top chicken box on him, so I don't know what that says about him.
It says that you're a pretty good quarterback.
Yes. You got a good release.
A quick one. I throw a catchable ball, they say.
Just a weird arm angle, but a great release.
Man.
Nothing could ever be as weird as Philip Rivers and Bernie Kosar. I'm just saying.
People have compared my release to Philip Rivers. It's weird. It's quick release. But by the way, who are the best quarterbacks in the league? Most of them throw 3 quarters. And
Also
Patrick
true.
Mahomes is in that category because he does everything.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Dub, you don't get the back-to-back in a snake draft. But you added one hell of a football player, Dakari Mims, from you. That means that Chris is going to go 4-5 on us. And boys, we're starting to build this defense out.
I need a linebacker that is going to be able to run sideline to sideline. I need a linebacker that is going to bring it. I need a guy that is going to kind of be the QB of my defense. So I'm going to go with Tone.
Anthony Smith.
Yep.
Linebacker.
And when you guys were talking about one of the best tacklers in the league and a threat in the middle, Tone's name is the one that immediately popped in my head. It's a great linebacker threat in the middle to tackle, and a bit of, like you said, Corey, a bit of a coverage liability, but only for the top end speed guys. He can cover damn near anybody else.
Yeah, and wherever Derek just was in spooky season, because it is October, and whatever ghost or surreal world that you just traveled through, whatever that noise was, I'm glad you've made it out on the other side.
So
now, break on through to the other side.
I'm going to give you guys. I want to give somebody a shout out, and I'm going to put him in on my squad right now because it's a dude that I think brought it every single game. I'm hoping that he does come back and play. Does come back to play again. It's a dude that has a motor that won't stop. So I've got to give it to him, and I think that he is one of the guys that could be a key on this defensive line for me, and that's Ahmad Awada.
Yes, good pick. Very good pick.
From what team?
Sick with it.
He did not play last season. I don't know exactly why, but he's a great kid, has a motor that won't stop, and he has been one of the standouts whenever he has played Insomniacs.
Okay. Well, I'll allow it. I was going to say that Derek can't pick. Now he's not going to be able to. A guy that he said, oh, didn't play, but he's the best guy I've seen. But I'll allow Chris because you know what? I'm always sick with it bias. So if it's sick with it, it's for me. No, I love the Insomniacs too. And of course, I never say anything bad or negative anywhere near anything.
Who was the pick? I missed it. I was getting out of my truck. Who was it?
Ahmad Awada.
I'm not pronouncing that. So, Chris,
I'm sorry. You guys are both talking at the same time. Who was it?
Go ahead, Dub.
He picked Ahmad Awada.
Got it. Thank you. I thought you were trying to say Lalu Lama. I was like,
no, not true. Not true. No.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So, just quick recap. This gets kind of busy. We don't have it listed here. Chris, just list out your team real quick, just as a reminder.
So Ahmad, defensive line, my first is the last pick. Tone before that.
Yep.
Bagway before that.
Yep.
Logo before that. And
of course.
Yep.
Pretty tough defense. Dub, who you got on your team already? And then we'll get your pick.
I have the Wolverine, Ricardo Freeman. He was my first pick. Big Mo was my second. I picked Big Josiah Sao. He was my third pick. And I took Mr. Mims as my fourth.
Nice. And so I, with my 4 guys, Deontay Henderson, Ole Bell, H3 Frazier, and Lugo from Sick With It. So, Dub, with your 5th pick, where do you go to try to stop the 2-time champion Insomniacs offense?
Well, I'm going to do another homer pick because I need some speed, and plus I call him Mr. Excitement. I'm taking Jaden Webb to be the other side of my secondary from the force.
Now, I'm not gonna say that I've seen a lot of tape on him at corner, but he does have the speed. And if you got to cover guys like Danye Lyons, Denzel Mims, or what's his last name? It's not Zelly's not Mims.
Daniels.
My bad. Who's Denzel Mims? And then who's the other guy? 86 for the Insomniacs. He's got some speed.
That would be Smooth Brown.
Yeah, he's kind of like down the depth chart, but he makes big plays when it matters. You got to have speed.
That he does.
All right, so I got my one corner. I got a linebacker. I got 2 D linemen. So what I'm going to first do, because I also am just trying to shout out all of the divisions. And let's be clear, guys. If I really, really, really wanted to be honest with myself and you guys, I would pick a defensive end from the very deep roster of Northeast teams that I face week in and week out. But since I already picked my guy Ole Bell, and he's widely renowned and revered around my division, and I won't get a lot of shit for that, I'm not going to go out on a limb and pick another guy, because then the rest of the guys will have ammunition to come at me. So to give everyone equal opportunity against me when I play next year, which is confirmed, by the way, guys.
Oh, you are coming back. All right.
You'll get more information as the offseason progresses. I'm going to go with a defensive end that I don't think a lot of us talk about a lot, but I think especially with the Insomniacs having, let's say, a less top-end speed quarterback, but a big quarterback that you have to have a big guy to bring down at the other defensive end, because Ole Bell, speed rusher, really solid tackler. He has that wrestling form. He's always getting that takedown. To take down Scooter Hamilton, we can't go with just another speed guy, because we have to worry about RTC in the run game, a big offensive line that can handle big guys, and a lot of ways that they could beat you. I'm going to go with a defensive end that has that motor that you need to play every single snap, 100% full energy and effort, but also a bigger guy at that position, especially for our league, in Javi Grace from the formerly Sin City Chaos. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's number 90 on the roster, number 1 in their hearts, apparently. Well, actually, it's probably Drizzy Pope, because he won the Defensive Player of the Year fan vote. So if we're just going by bullshit Facebook posts, I guess maybe it's Drizzy Pope. But Javi Grace, to me, is the only one on the defense that, to me, pops out as somebody that I would want on my team with me. And he brings that Ohio blue-collar, blood in his nose, scraped knuckles, ready for a brawl type of defensive end. And against Scooter, I'm not necessarily worried like I would be facing BIC with his lack of top-end speed, because Grace can get moving fast enough to hawk Scooter down if he has to. But I for sure 100%, if they do a read option and it's one-on-one Scooter and Javi Grace, a lot of guys aren't big enough to take on that full truck from Scooter Hamilton. So for me, my defensive end to kind of round out my defensive line, nice size, got that speed rusher on the outside. Going Javi Grace from formerly the Sin City Chaos. We'll see where he plays next year. So snake draft around. I got 5 guys. I need 3 more. 2 starters, 1 guy that's kind of my, special weapon off the bench. So I'm going to solidify my cornerback position. And again, there's a lot of great guys that I could use from the Northeast Division. And I'm not going to list them now, but I do want to give them their respect. There's a lot of great guys. But I want to go with somebody that's a little bit more familiar with the way the Insomniacs play. And I'm going to go with another sick-witted guy. And listen, to me, my personal opinion, terrible social media follow. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't want to follow your social media. However, his game on the field,
Cut it his heart, bro.
Justin Shepard is one of the best cover corners that I've seen in person. And I'm pretty sure I haven't played against him, although he might have been on that all-star team that I played against when I was on OTT that one day, those 2 days, that one weekend. And honestly, I talked shit on him because he was like live feeding his wife giving birth. Like, what? Go take care of your wife. This is not for us. This is for her. Be there for her. But other than social media follow, and my bad, I just always have to throw shade, I guess. Justin Shepard to me, dog. And when we're talking about the other guys, H3 Frazier, I need a corner that can cover and also make the tackle if it's a toss and Munchie goes to block 3 guys on the play. I need a corner that I know is going to be a dog, make that play. Justin Shepard is a high caliber cornerback, and I'm glad he's on my team to stop the Insomniacs. Dub?
Well, I'll go with his teammate Deion Southern
Okay.
to come off the bench.
Okay, so
Knew that was coming.
he's more of like a safety linebacker hybrid. How would you describe his game?
Very versatile, and like I said, he can play both back ends and also helps out on the 3-on-1 return.
Well, let's be clear. BIC, if they could draft a 3-on-1 coverage team, they would absolutely go with different guys. But that's not what we're doing today. Okay, so we got Southern, another sick-witted guy, getting on Dub's roster, and that means Chris, you can round out your starting defense to stop these Insomniacs with these next 2 snake draft picks. Chris, who do you choose to try to stop the 2-time defending champs offense?
So my biggest problem is Kenny Mack. And I need somebody that is going to do his best to pretty much bring him to a standstill, stalemate, if you will. Even though he would be playing out of position, I want somebody that can hold up Kenny, so that way I can let my defensive ends do what they do and my linebacker blitz. So believe it or not, I'm going to take Dave Valley.
I was going to try to sneak that one in there late.
Wow.
Good pick. Listen, as much as we talk about Dave Valley for what he did in the offensive line, and it was a lot, when he was on the defensive side of the ball, he brought that same type of mentality where he was getting penetration. Anybody in front of him was no contest. And if you did like an offensive line, I call it with my Pop Warner kids, it's called King of the Ring. If you did an offensive line drill and those 2 guys, I don't know who would win.
I don't
6
either.
times out of the 10.
But I need somebody that will meet the immovable object. So Dave has got to be my nose. I need him.
His irresistible force.
Kenny. I need him to do that.
I'm sensing a theme from Chris's team because let's be clear, if our target is 29 points, the BIC defense damn near did it. So, right? Fuck it, just pick the whole team. Anyway,
I only got 2 players from BIC though.
I'm saying those are 2 for me. Those are 2 important guys that, by the way, I'm just kind of a little salty. I wanted to pick, so good for making those picks and stealing them from me, because then I gotta fucking think longer and look at my list now. I've
been thinking about this.
As you pick your second pick in the
my last pick for my defensive line is going to be another guy that will be playing out of position, but I need somebody with speed on that outside and somebody I know can set that edge. And as soon as I say his name, Dub is going to look up, but Joe Jackson from our good friends the Sick With It. I think that I can play him at the defensive end, even though he's a linebacker. He can set that edge, and I think that he is fast enough and strong enough to go on either side of that defense and contain RTC.
Solid pick.
Hello, Mr. Bridges. How are you? House called Joe.
I thought he was doing another stupid reference to the baseball game. But
no, he was not. No, he was not.
All right, so
he was making a Sickwood reference.
Chris, he's got a starting 7.
Yep, I got my starting 7. Would you like me to name them?
Yeah, let's recap real quick. So
okay, I'm gonna go inside out. So Dave Valley at the nose,
Yep.
I've got Ahmad at one defensive end. I've got Joe Jackson at the other. I've got Tone at the linebacker position. I've got Bagway at one of the corners. I've got Logo at my safety, and I've got your boy from BIC at my other cornerback position.
Amir Chick Morris.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I think that our fans are going to potentially side with Chris' team because they are a damn good defense. But Dub, you still have 2 picks to decide how your team shapes out. With your 7th pick and the last, we'll say, starter, trying to stop the Insomniacs.
So are we going to pick special teams player? Is that what we're doing?
No. The way that I worded it is to be vague, and you can do whatever you want, right? Just a utility guy. Define that 8th guy however you want. You could.
Okay.
I just think it would but just to be clearer, we're only worried about stopping the Insomniacs offense. So I would focus on just as a defensive player.
Okay. Got you. So so that's my last pick, right? So
that will be the last pick of our little draft, which means Dub gets 1 now, I get 2, Dub goes again, and then Chris, you round us out with the Mr. Irrelevant of this draft, which, let's be clear, he's probably very relevant.
Very relevant.
If we're only going a total of 24 defensive players in our league.
Now, he didn't play this year, but he was a huge, huge, huge contributor to 6 defense. He may be undersized, but the motor and his swim move is pretty good. But I'm going to take another Sigwood player, but I'm going to take the Mighty Quinn.
Dan Quinn,
that's a good pick.
Now, like I said, he did not play this season because he was going through some stuff. But when he was there last year, he was a key cog on 6 front line along with Big Oos. So I'm taking the Mighty Quinn, Mr. Robert Quinn.
When, to be clear, the Insomniacs smoked them. But anyway, I'm just joking.
In the second game, yes.
Yeah, the first game was week 1. It was actually relatively close. So
yes.
Now, to round out my starting 7, this is kind of put my bias out there. I am not a safety kind of guy. In the 7-on-7 league, just in my opinion, your best defense does not have a guy hanging 7 to 10 yards back, waiting to be involved in the play. I want all 7 of my guys active, involved in the play. So that means that my 7th guy is not necessarily going to be the safety, even though I have the 2 corners. I have the 3, we'll say, defensive line guys, and I have the true linebacker. So to me, when I look at what I need to do, as I'm wasting time trying to figure out my pick, as I'm looking at what I need to do, I think about how do the Insomniacs attack? And I have 2 picks left. So they are, in my opinion, one of the, if not the, most balanced teams in the league. So how do we combat that? Well, I have 2 picks. So first, I'm going to get a nickel guy. I'm going to get another corner if they want to go spread, if they want to go into a throw look. I'm going to take my other BIC corner in Sire Hancock, a guy that last year was his first year with BIC, came over, a standout year in the Animals. And he was one of the top guys on that defense, even though he wasn't even considered the best pick from his team in this draft. He's the 3rd. But to me, if I need a cover corner to cover that nickel, and it's just in a pass set, I don't think you can go wrong with Sire Hancock. And that will be my 7th pick, which leads me to my last and final pick. If I got a nickel guy in the situation where the Insomniacs try to go in that spread, I need to have that counterpart if they try to go with a more heavy run set. And to me, he gets a lot of shit in this league, but the attitude in which he plays, it means a lot to me. And so another guy that was a part, and look, I said this about Chris. Let's be honest. I did it myself, and I was going to do it anyway. I'm going to go John Columbia, psycho, at that linebacker defensive end hybrid position if they go run heavy, so that he would be my sub alternate if they end up going in a more heavy run set, because I call him Master Chief because he looks like the actor that plays Master Chief in the Halo show. Also, another actor from The Wire, the Doc Union guy's kid in The Wire. But anyway, the point is John Columbia as a linebacker is an impact player because he is one of the only people in our league that has zero regard for his health on every defensive play and plays as such. And you know what? For me, when I'm looking at rounding out a defense, I want to bring a guy that's going to have that mentality with Deontay Henderson. And if you're telling me I have the defensive line that I have, and I have those two guys down at the goal line, you better get a body on a body because one of those animals, those psychos, those absolute crazy people is going full hell bent, no holes barred. They don't care about what they feel like on Monday, trying to stop RTC. And if you're trying to stop the Insomniacs, you need guys like that, especially at the linebacker position. My final pick on Columbia, Psycho from BIC.
Psycho extraordinaire.
Yeah, I call him Master Chief, but he goes by Psycho.
There you go.
So, Dub, you're left with one final pick, desperately trying to stop the defending champ Insomniac's offense. Dub, who you got?
Let's see. Where should I go? Where do I want to go?
The hell?
Because I love his motor. And what I saw in Bullet City, I'm gonna pick the Moose from the Nightcrawlers. I'm gonna pick Travis, who's also one of our loyal watchers of this show.
Yeah, which I'm really surprised he's not on here right now.
Oh, he'll
For once.
His name finally gets
There he
mentioned.
is.
Speak of the name. Speak of the name. He appears.
Look at that.
What's up, fellas? So Dub drafted him to the listenership,
Damn.
as well as
So
his
Travis, you just got drafted. Congratulations, buddy. Because I like that. What about me?
You got to suit up and stop the Insomniacs.
Yeah,
Don't
you
worry
got to
about
suit
it.
up, stop the Insomniacs. You
Again.
were in a fantasy draft, and you just got drafted, my friend.
Speak his name, and he shall appear.
Right?
Right.
Travis Gallardo, Dub's 8th and final pick to try and stop the defending champs. Chris, who is the Mr. Irrelevant of this draft, which, let's be clear, is very relevant?
Very. So there is a couple of situations that I can see happening.
All good, buddy.
Especially with this. So there's actually I've been kind of thinking about this and which way I want to go. And believe it or not, to me, I need somebody that can step in should one of my guys go down, especially in the secondary. And I need somebody with a little bit of speed, understanding of the game. So there are two names, and I'm not going to pick one because I think both of them are relevant and both of them have their abilities in this game. And one is Ashanti Worthy, and the other one is funny enough, he just popped in, is Darren Palmer. So that is funny as hell. Mention his name and he shall appear. Those are my two guys that are very far from being irrelevant. But I think that if I'm trying to stop a potent offense like the Insomniacs, become very relevant. So those are my last two guys. Even though I can only have one, those are my last two.
So to answer the question, Derek, would you be down to put together some fantasy betting for the upcoming A7NFL season? I'd be down to put up lines and stats. We can't actually take bets. That's illegal. But I will put up lines for entertainment purposes. You can hit me up before the games and we can work on that.
For entertainment purposes. That's it.
So now that we're on the subject, though, I want to talk honorable mention the guys who didn't get drafted, who absolutely deserved to be picked up, and you guys did not get them either because you were filled at those positions or you just don't know about them. I know Corey knows at least two of these, all three of these guys I'm about to mention, or four. So five. Here we go. So probably the first person off the list who should have been taken maybe second or third in this draft is DeAndre Haynes. Dude is an absolute fucking animal at defensive end, destroys offensive lines everywhere he goes, makes interceptions at the line, bats balls down is an absolute fucking nightmare. And the fact that he didn't get drafted at all, this whole fucking shit is stupid. I should leave now. So
What, Dondre? See, listen. If my ass drafts my teammate from my 0-7 Renegades team,
look,
I'm an asshole personally. I already went down that road, but I 100% agree. There's no better two-way player than Dondre Haynes. I want to say it for tight end.
Except for Logo Davis, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But the point is, I sat and watched him play football, and one of your guys' games. I don't know if you were playing. He was playing both sides of the ball, and I put out 9 different YouTube clips of this guy's a fucking monster the whole time as I'm watching the game. Like, I'm like, okay, these guys in New Jersey really are ballers. And when I saw him play specifically, I'm like, if everybody's like that, when we cross the fucking country, it is fucking a nightmare. That guy is special. So that's number 1. Number 2, give some Ohio love. Seth Chambers, probably one of the best sideline to sideline cover linebackers in the league.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of mention this last year, but I know him. I know his heart. I know his game. When he's on TV, he pops every single time. The Cheetah, Jahan Burrell, probably the best cover corner in Las Vegas outside of Danye Lions, and not mentioned at all. Fucking Blake.
Nobody was in my mind, and he was one player that I wanted to take.
Right, and the guy I told you that didn't play last season that it was special to me, and I think is the best cover corner I've ever seen in this league is Ricky Tate from the BIC.
Yes,
long,
Ricky Tate.
Fast, will pull any ball down into the air. If
I'm gonna be honest.
Ball, you were losing every fucking time.
I've seen him get smoked, by the way. But he's also a good tackler, and he's got that range of like the arm length and the height. Right.
Length
and let me just be sure. What team did Burrell, the Cheetah, play for this past season? Did he? I didn't know he played. He played on Kryptonite.
No, I want to say he was on Over the Top, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He only played a couple games this last season, but still in the league and still.
I can confirm that. I can confirm from that fall Kryptonite team, he was one of those standout guys. He was on the same level of Lavish T. It just popped out for me. Lavish obviously on the pit bosses, but.
And DP, you are correct. The Ramsey brothers would have been good picks too.
And Murphy. Murphy was absolutely a stalwart on that sick offensive line.
We want all of our fans. You guys make your team. Put it in the comments. Put 8 names. We'll shout them out on the next.
Yes, absolutely to our friends in Georgia and in Florida, guys. God be with you. You guys be safe. Take care of your families. God be with you. You guys are sincerely in our prayers. I actually know some people out there in the Tampa area, so guys, be careful, be safe, have plenty of water, and be safe out there.
If you guys see me looking down a lot, it's because I got family in Florida. I got family and friends in Florida right now. I've got some really good friends that used to be our next door neighbors that live in Tampa Bay. So I am 100% been in my prayers all day. This is not, to me, a situation that I'm taking lightly, mainly because I saw what just the the winds and the sea can do when we're in Barbados, and we had that hurricane pass 75 miles south of us, and it was still the sea surge was incredible. So all I can tell you is, without a shadow of a doubt, everybody in Florida is in my prayers. And like I said, I've got a ton of family and a ton of friends that live there. I've heard from 2 of my cousins so far to say they're okay, but at the same time, still really nervous about the situation.
For sure. And obviously, in a situation like this, we're just trying to have some fun, maybe be a distraction for people.
Mr. Bridges, you be careful out there, buddy. Be careful. We're praying for you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Two storms back to back is really tough, especially for people that are already feeling it from the first one. Helene was bad. This one looks to be just as bad. So prayers and hopefully, hope and good karma and everything to everybody dealing with everybody. By the way, FEMA is not out of money. If you are affected by this, find out the real information. Don't fall for the false information. It is important that you understand that there are people that are trying, but there can't be enough help for who's already been underwater, literally, and for who is prepping up for the storm that's coming. Yeah, definitely shout outs and prayers for Tampa. And look, hopefully we could be entertaining with our little draft. We did get a bunch of night crawlers out there, and hopefully everybody's safe. But yeah, so not the best segue in the world, but fans, if you have your 8, because we're just trying to have some fun, maybe a little bit of distraction, especially if you are in Tampa and you got to think about something a little bit of a lighter mood. We want to hear, because Palmer's out there. He's got 3. Darren, you might as well get the rest of those 5. See what you can do to stop the Insomniacs. Now, I don't think any of these teams are going to stop them for real, but holding them to maybe 29, maybe 30, maybe 31. I don't know. Maybe if you take away the points that were put on the board on the 3-on-1, maybe we even give BIC credit for holding the Insomniacs to less than that. I don't know.
Are you kidding me? Do you see what he just said?
No,
we couldn't even evacuate. They closed down the highways.
Damn. So, I mean, all right. Well, listen, obviously we're into a more somber and sober tone. Geez, good luck, man. And you're wearing an Insomniacs jersey, so if you're out there visiting family, or if that's just where you're from,
be safe, man. Be
get home safe. We're here for you, and we'll do what we can if there is anything. Not to fully pivot, but just to kind of recap, we got Chris's team. Chris, list your names for somebody. Zip
so
past.
Inside Out, we've got Ahmad, we've got Dave Valley,
Yep.
we've got Joe Jackson.
Yep.
We have Tone at the linebacker position. We've got Bagway at one of the cornerback positions, Logo at the safety, and Yo Boy at the other
Chip
cornerback.
Morse.
Yep.
Listen,
Morse.
pretty solid roster, fans. If you vote for Chris Vera's team, just type in the last name Vera.
Good luck spelling that.
Listen, we'll give points and shout outs to whoever comes up with the most creative spelling as well. Dub, just run down your list of names just as a reminder for the fans. Shout outs to Draco. We love you too.
All right. Well, my front 3 is the mighty Quinn, Mr. Daniel Quinn from Sickwitted, Josiah Sal from Sickwitted, and Big Mo from the U. I have the Wolverine protecting my middle along with Jaden Webb. I also got Deion Southern. I got Mr. Mims, and I got Big Travis Big Moose from the Nightcrawlers to round out my squad on defense.
And if you think that Dub has the best squadron to stop the Insomniacs, just type in Dub or Charlie Batch into the chat, and we'll count that as
Either
well.
works. Or just better yet, just post a picture of Charlie.
If you post a picture of Charlie, if you post a picture of Charlie Batch, we will think that it's a picture of Dub from his Facebook. Now, just as a reminder,
Or Instagram.
or both. Just a reminder of fans, the Corey Hammond team, Corey Hammonds, is Ole Bell, defensive end, defensive tackle, Michael Lugo, Sickwitted, defensive end.
Travis, you can't vote, man. You're on his team. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
You can vote. He picked you. You might as well. You should have put the picture of Charlie Batch, though. That would have been a better comment.
That would have been funny.
Javi Grace, defensive end, from the artists formerly known as the Real Sin City Chaos. Linebackery type dudes, I got Deontay Henderson and John Columbia Psycho from BIC. Deontay Henderson from the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers. Prayers and thoughts with him. And then I got my secondary. I got Vegas guy, Justin Shepard. And then 2 corners from BIC, H3 Frazier and Syer Hancock. And if you pick my team, put Boo Corey in the comments. So that is for Chris's team, try to spell Vera. For Dub's team, picture of Charlie Batch. And for Corey's team, Boo Corey. And we will tally the votes after this draft. Guys, I think that was a fun way to spend a Wednesday night. Would you go with your own team, or do you think one of us? Yeah, no. See, Travis Gallardo. He's going to boo Corey as well in the comments, maybe. So would you guys pick your own teams, or do you maybe side with one of the others?
For me, I am going to pick my team.
Fair.
I'm going
Dub,
to pick my team.
you're going to try to Dub, you're going to try to sell us, or you want to say one of our teams is better than yours? 'Cause
No, I'm just going to say all three teams. I mean, they would put up a fight.
Yep.
I mean, it would be interesting to see if this was in a virtual, a virtual video game type of atmosphere. It'd be fun to see. But I mean, I would say good luck to all three teams. But I mean, trying to hold the Insomniacs to 29 points is
Now,
a tall task.
Now, I love my team, but I'm going to be honest. Chris stole two of the guys that I was going to take before I could take them. So it's not a bad.
You didn't think I was going to go that route, did you?
Honestly, I think that the Dave Valley pick, I was going to wait. I kind of wanted to slow play it. He was going to be my eighth guy, and then I would have went a different way with the way that I tried to stop the run with. Instead of a linebacker, I was going to go the double D tackle, 4-man line type of thing. When you took Dave Valley, the reason I was going to take Dave Valley is for the same reason that you said that you were going to use him is kind of try to neutralize the best we possibly could Kenny Mack.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't necessarily surprise me. It just kind of made me a little pissed off that I didn't do it earlier. But the Amir Chick Morris pick, especially after every single opportunity that Dub gets a chance to, he posts a pic of my guy on the ground with Dub doing. With Munchie doing the thing. I was surprised that the first overall pick on the Vegas podcast to stop the Insomniacs is my guy. To be clear, lots of subtext to it. My guy, Chicken Morris. There's the pick. Now that's not fair because he also had one of the best interceptions that I think you guys might have ever seen.
I don't have a photo of that. Otherwise, if I did, I would have put that photo up there also because it was a damn good interception.
Yeah, let's.
And the thing about it is, when I was thinking about this, keep one thing in mind. My thought was, I need guys that were ball hawks.
Yeah.
Because if the ball's in the air, I need guys that are going to go up and get it. And he was one of them. And that's the other reason why I took Logo. Because those two guys alone are, if the ball's up in the air, they're going up to get it. It's not going to be a jump ball.
Don't pay that comment any mind. Let's steam right through that. Shout outs to Steve Ashmore.
Well, we got 1 minute to close it up here, boys.
So listen, I think this was fun. Fans at home, put your team in the comments. Vote Vera. Good luck with the spelling. Charlie Batch photo.
Ashmore got it right. Veira. If you want my team, there you go.
Well, listen, they might be spelling it all kinds of different ways just to be funny. Pick Dub's team, Charlie Batch photo, or just write Dub. And if you want to pick my team, Travis Gallardo, I do like my team as well. Deontay Henderson, not going to be fun to run against. Type boo Corey, because, hey, maybe it's cathartic for everybody in Vegas. I think, guys, today was great. But now let's finish up with this. You guys, and as well as myself, just drafted a team to try to stop the Insomniacs from scoring 29. Do you think they can?
The thing about it is, no matter what we say here, there's going to be both sides going back and forth. So, I mean, I could start the debate and say, yes, I think my team can hold them to under 29. I can go ahead and say that. The thing about it that we don't give credit to is we're just talking about defense. And the thing about it is, now have some fun and flip your defense to play offense. Yeah. And who's got the best offensive team?
Well, that's what I was – honestly, Chris, what I was going to say is if that's your defense, I think you're winning that game because your quarterback is fucking legendary.
Right?
I don't know who that guy is, but he's fucking good. Dub, we got 10 seconds. Yes or no? Your team stopping the Insomniacs?
It's a coin toss.
Yeah. My answer is no.
Any given Sunday.
Because even BIC couldn't. So would they do a good job? I think so. Are they stopping the Insomniacs from scoring 29? We'll see.
Who knows?
Anyway, Dub, take us out.
Well, as already mentioned to those players that are in the East Coast area, especially to our friends there in Tampa, Florida, may God be with you. We are praying for you. You guys be safe. Take care of your families. Take care of yourself and each other. Also in Georgia, also in North Carolina, just you guys take care of yourselves. We're praying for you.
Yes.
Hopefully we get
And
to hear
South
that.
Carolina too, because I think they're going to wind up getting hit again.
So
And I've got family in South Carolina as well. So you guys, everybody out there, man, look, prayers were up from last night. They'll be up tonight. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I've got family that just refuses to leave. They hunker down and they try to take care of their house. But my prayers are out there for every single last soul that is in that area. Um, I saw what Sea Surge alone can do, taking down a solid concrete wall with no problem, like it wasn't there. So firsthand, and my prayers go out to everybody that is in Florida, in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, every place that's supposed to get hit. Man, my prayers are out to every one of you. And I'll just say it: politics be damned. This is about what we can do for each other, and it's time to look out for your neighbor. So,
Shout outs to Elon Musk. He's out there using his money for good.
Our prayers out to everybody, and I just hope that this thing doesn't turn out to be a repeat of what we've already seen.
I think well said.
Dub, your sound is out again, just so you know.
All right, I'm gonna have to do it.
Go ahead.
So for Chris Vera, for Dub Alvarez, and the guy that Vegas loves to hate, myself. Thank you for joining us on this episode, and we will see you on the other side of the ball. Oh, that feels good. I'll never say it again.
Take care of each other.
I'll never say it again.
Again, for Derek, Chris,
you're back.
I'm Double A. We're saying thank you for watching episode 106. We will see you for number 107, and we'll see you on the other side of the ball.